at 5. First, the top stories. Rainstorm blown off roofs of lecture halls, offices at FCE Ushiele Abeokuta. Shivajo has schools to properly fund their operations or sell them. Primary and junior secondary schools to teach history as from 2018-2019. Kano and Jigawa State consume over 3 million bottles of codeine daily. New report says there are at 124 million children and teenagers worldwide. Greek parliament okays legal change without surgery. I am Kunle, Alaye, bringing you the news in detail shortly. Roofs of several buildings at the Federal College of Education, Ushiele Abeokuta, have been blown off by the rainstorm, which accompanied a heavy rainfall on Tuesday in the Ogun State capital. Structures affected by the rainstorm included the Provost and Deputy Provost Office Complex, lecture halls, student hostels, registrar and bursary office, deans and lecturers' offices, as well as the Department of Education and Vocational Studies. The rainstorm also dislocated vehicles and damaged electricity poles and makeshift shops on the campus. The institution deputy provost, Dr. Adekola Shoyele, told Rock City FM that students writing examination and members of an association were attending the seminar in 2 of the affected buildings. Dr. Shoyele says the institution had contacted the provost, who is away in Abuja for an official assignment. The college's director of works, engineer Venice, says over 25 buildings were affected by the rainstorm, while his department is still inspecting all the structures which are likely to have been affected by the rainstorm. Ogun State government says it is yet to record any suspected case of monkeypox virus in any part of the state. The Nigerian Center for Disease Control on Monday listed Ogun as one of the 7 states including Bayelsa, Rivers, Ekiti, Akwa Ibom, Cross River and Lagos State that the virus has spread to. But Ogun State Health Commissioner Dr. Babatunde Ikpae, addressing a news conference in Abeokuta, faults the report of the center. Ikpae says he had contacted the Center for the Control of Disease in Abuja on the misinformation while asking members of the public to maintain personal and environmental hygiene. The commissioner asked the public to call the state epidemiology response team on 0803 359 1033 or 0809 466 3429 to report any suspected case of the disease. Ogun State chapter of the Academic Staff Union of Secondary Schools has called on the state government to henceforth appoint the principal general in the state as the head of the Teaching Service Commission, TESCA. Union State Chairman Akim Lasisi, who made the call during the 2017 World Teachers' Day in Abeokuta, says the appointment will replace the selection of a core civil servant or a permanent secretary who are not teachers to head the commission. For instance, Lasisi explains that the State Justice Ministry is being headed by a lawyer who doubles as the Solicitor General or a permanent secretary, while the Works and Health Ministry and Bureau of Lands and Survey are being headed by professionals. The ASUS chairman also called on the presidency to consider the establishment of the Secondary Education Commission, like in the case of primary and tertiary education. At the event were the representative of Education, Science and Technology Commissioner, State TESCAM Chairman, State Chairman of the Trade Union Congress, the Alaperu of Iperuremo Obadeleke Basibo, the Governor's Consultant on Labor Matters, Shiya Debanjo, representative of the Labor and Employment Ministry, and teachers from public secondary schools in the state. History is to be reintroduced as a subject in primary and junior secondary schools nationwide as from the 2018-2019 academic session. Nigerian Education Research and Development Council, which made this known, says it will be taught from primary 1 to junior secondary school free as a standalone curriculum. The council's executive secretary, Ismail Jinadu, explains that a sample of the new curriculum for history will be sent to the state ministries of education, the enable them plan ahead of the implementation and to train teachers. The National Council on Education approved the reintroduction of the subject at its meeting last July in Abuja. President Muhammadu Buhari has intervened in the dispute over the reform of the Olubadan chieftaincy, which has pitted Governor Abiola Ajimobi against the Olubadan Oba Saliu Adetunji. Governor Abiola Ajimobi, after a meeting with Buhari at the presidential villa, Abuja, says he has no plan to depose the Olubadan, even though he has done many things for him to do so. The governor, speaking to the State House correspondent after the meeting, says he told Buhari that the Olubadan crisis had been hijacked by politicians, one of whom is seeking to succeed him in 2019. Ajimobi explains that he could not dispose the Olubadan because he was his late father's friend. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo has asked the 11 electricity distribution companies DISCOs operating in the country to invest more in their businesses to run them profitably and improve power supply. Otherwise, Osinbajo advises the DISCOs to sell their businesses. Osinbajo spoke on the issue while responding to a call by Chairman of Heirs Holding Limited, Mr. Tony Elumelu, that government should invest in the DISCOs, in which it had 40% equity. The Vice President says the DISCOs have to shop for fresh funds to improve on their performances, as the Presidency does not have the fund to invest in them. Two members of the National Youth Service Corps (NYSC) posted to Nazareth State have drowned in a river in the Lafia local government area. The state NYSC coordinator, Ajia Zainab Isa, who made this known to newsmen in Lafia, identified them as Ogunlola Babatunde and Danjuma Saliu. She explains that the two youth corps members had gone to the river last Sunday to swim before they got drowned. Meanwhile, a female youth corps member, Blessing Nwakpa, abducted last Friday, had regained her freedom. The NYSC coordinator says Blessing was abducted at Udegembeki in Kokoma local government area while on her way from Iban. Senate has expressed concern over the growing consumption of codeine and other drugs in the north, particularly in Jigawa and Kano State. The Senate expresses the concern following a motion raised by Senator Baba Gabai, who says that over 3 million bottles of codeine syrup are consumed daily in the two states. The senator laments the alarming level of drug abuse, especially among girls in higher institutions of learning in the region. Senator Aliu Wamako agreed with Gabai, saying the drug problem is now a national crisis. You are still listening to the World News at 5 on Rock City 101.9 FM. Up next, we bring you foreign, business, and the sport news. Please do stay with us. Child and teenage obesity levels have risen tenfold in the last 4 decades, meaning 124 million boys and girls around the globe are too fat, according to new research. The analysis in the Lancet is the largest of its kind and looks at obesity trends in over 200 countries. In the United Kingdom, 1 in every 10 young people aged 5 to 19 is obese. The largest increase in the number of obese children and adolescents has been in East Asia. Polynesia and Micronesia have the highest rate of all. Around half of the young population in these countries is overweight or obese. Greece Parliament has approved a new law that will make it easier for people to change their legal gender. Under the old law, those wanting to change their gender on official document had to undergo sex change surgery and medical tests. Now, citizens over the age of 15 will now be able to change their gender with a court ruling and without requiring a medical operation. The Greek Orthodox Church also opposed the bill and called for it to be withdrawn, saying it defies custom and common sense and, above all, destroys people. Up next in the World News at 5 is business news. President Muhammadu Buhari has sent a request to the Senate to consider his request for a $5 billion foreign loan to partly finance the 2017 budget. The Senate President Bukola Saraki read the request during the Senate plenary. The letter dated October 4th arrives the Senate about a week after the Finance Minister, Mrs. Kemi Adeosun, accused the Senate of withholding its approval of the foreign loan request sent by Buhari for consideration. The minister who spoke on the radio while appearing before the Senate committees of Finance and Appropriation claims that the delay in the foreign loan approval is affecting the implementation of the 2017 budget. Finally, the sport news. Ogun State House of Assembly has expressed concern over the performance of Gateway United Football Club of Abeokuta in the ongoing Nigerian National League (NNL). It asked the club's management to work harder to secure promotion to the Elite League. The state government-owned Gateway United, which are currently in the sixth position with 47 points from 32 matches, need to win its remaining two matches against Unewi United and Warri Wolves to move to the Nigerian Professional Football League (NPFL). The House Youth, Sports and Employment Generation Committee Chairman Ganiu Oyedeji, who expressed the concern while assessing the club's 2017 budgetary allocation, urged the team general manager Tunji Onotolu to justify the investment in the club by ensuring discipline among the coaching crew and players to get the desired result. The Youth and Sport Commissioner Folabi Afuagbe told the House Committee that the coaching crew, led by Samuel Abimbola, was sacked because of internal crisis, which seriously affected the club performance. He assured that the club with the present coaching crew will get the needed promotion to the Nigerian Top Flight League. And that was the World News at 5, but just before we go, quick recap of the major stories once again. In the World News at 5. Rainstorm blown off roofs of lecture halls, offices at FCE Ushiele Abeokuta. Oshibaju adds this goes to properly fund their operations or sell them. Primary and junior secondary schools to teach history as from 2018-2019 academic session. Kano and Jigawa State consume over 3 million bottles of codeine daily. On the foreign scene, we reported that new report says there are 124 million children and teenagers worldwide. And Greek Parliament okays legal change without surgery. For more stories and to listen to us live, you can log on to our website. It is www.rockcityfmradio.com/live. Thank you very much for listening. I am Kunle. Alaye. Good evening.